Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Welcome to the Think Unbroken podcast. Michael Unbroken here. Very excited to be back with you with another episode. And I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to share with you a secret that changed my life forever. And that secret is a book that I'm holding in my hand right now by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. Now, you might be thinking, like, how did a single book change your life when you always say that it's never one book? It's never one podcast. It's never one course. It's never one conference. I'm going to tell you why. And this is the secret. Because this book, what happened is it made me realize the truth about something. I was unwilling to pay attention to what other people were reflecting to me. And I think one of the things that we suffer through so frequently as trauma survivors is this place where often people are showing us something that we need to see, but we cannot see it. And so what does that have to do with anything? So I was 20 years old and my roommate's girlfriend had come upstairs to my bedroom. She knocked on the door. She said, "Hey, I have a gift for you." And we had been hanging out drinking that night, as we pretty much literally always did. And she hands me a copy of this book. Literally this book right here, not the same one, because I would actually throw that book in the trash later that night. And she came up to my room and she knocked on the door and she said, "Hey, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I'll never forget this." She goes, "I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I think this might help you." Now, you guys have heard me say this before. My greatest attribute is my stubbornness. My greatest flaw is my stubbornness. And the lack of self-awareness that I had when I was younger is the singular reason why where I could have been took me decades longer to get to. And self-awareness is everything. And when she handed me this book, I looked at it, had the Oprah's Book Club sticker on it, literally just like this copy. Part of me wonders, I know this is going to sound weird, but part of me wonders if this book traveled through space and time and ended up in my hand today. I wonder that sometimes. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's true. This book came out in 2005. It's 20 years old. She had given me a copy of it. And so I sat there, I looked at it, and I read this. I'll never forget this. It's about the author. It says, Eckhart Tolle is a contemporary spiritual teacher who travels extensively, taking his message throughout the world. And when I read spiritual teacher, I sat the book next to my bed, and I looked at her and I said, "Thanks." And then we went back to partying and drinking. And that night, I took this book and I threw it in the trash. And for the next 6 years, I don't think I even looked at a book, let alone read one. And a moment of being willing to face the reality that sometimes people want to help you, and having the courage to accept that help can change your life forever. And that's the secret, my friend. So many of us are so terrified to ask for help. We feel selfish. We feel guilty. We feel shame. We feel like we don't matter. So why would anyone help us? We feel like we're losers. We feel like if we ask for help, we're soft and we're less than. But that's the biggest lie ever said. It's the greatest lie ever told. And most importantly, it's the worst lie you'll ever tell yourself. And so one of the things I want you to keep in mind, and this may not always hold true, and this is why self-awareness is so incredibly important. I will preach know thyself until the day you die, because self-awareness matters, because if you are self-aware and you are paying attention to your environment, then the truth about what is actually happening is you're going to look at what is happening and you're going to be able to remove yourself from it for a moment and ask, is this real? Is this true? Is what is happening right now for the betterment of me or not? And so for a long time, I didn't read books. I didn't pick anything up. I did not invest in myself in any capacity. And you're probably wondering, like, did a book really change your life? And it's hyperbole, right? Maybe it's an anecdote. And this singular book did not change my life, but that moment did. Because that moment could have been the difference between a lot of success and failure that was going to precede that moment, or follow that moment, I should say. And so looking back on that and sitting in that truth, what I was doing was I was avoiding someone who was willing to have the courage to tell me what no one else would tell me. And I ran. And I got very pompous in that moment. And I was like, fuck you. I don't need this book. I didn't say that to her, but I said that in my head. And as you know, now fast forward 17 years later, not only have I read this book, but hundreds and hundreds of books, because I realized the truth. The secret, if you want to change your life, is about paying attention, is about letting other people speak into you, is about having the willingness to put your guard down for fucking 30 seconds and pay attention to what is right in front of you. Now, again, that doesn't always mean everyone is in your best interest, is in their interest. Like, that's the truth of life, and you've got to get really clear on understanding that. But what I will say to you, what I think is incredibly important that you need to hold on to and that you need to understand, is that the difference between success and failure in life is leveraging those moments in which someone is reflecting something that feels true, that makes you throw your guard up. Now, there's the guard of safety, right? i.e., I need to protect myself. I need to be wary. I need to make sure that this person's not after me. And then there's the guard of I am going to make sure no matter what, nobody gets in because I'm quote unquote strong, right? And so if you're watching me on YouTube right now, if you're on the Think Unbroken YouTube channel, I'm doing air quotes for strong because that's a mask. That's not real. That's not true. That strength that you have that keeps people out is a fucking weakness. And it's stopping you from being able to tap into what's great. And if I could go back in time, I would smack myself in the face and be like, hey, dummy, pay attention. Someone here is being kind to you. And that kindness and accepting that kindness, that is not weakness. And that's one of the greatest lies we tell ourselves. So today, as I sit here and I look at this book, when I found this book, it was sitting on the shelf of a Goodwill. And I'll go grab books at Goodwill all the time because, I mean, they're like $1 sometimes, right? The spine of this book has never been cracked. There's no highlighting. There's no dog-eared pages. There's no writing in it. It wasn't dedicated to anyone. And it has the Oprah Book Club sticker on it that looks fucking brand new. And it's not the revised version. It's an original version. And I know this is going to sound woo-woo, but maybe, just maybe, the thing that I needed found itself to me anyway. And I think that's one of the really interesting aspects of life. That thing that you need, it's right here. It's waiting for you. But you have to have the willingness to accept it. And you have to understand that that secret that will change everything for you is about simply letting that wall down, my friend. You deserve it. You are allowed to have it. You are not less than because other people speak into you, because they want you to be great, because they see power in you. And you are not weak because you accept it. And in fact, it's just the opposite. And my hope, my friend, it's really funny, the subtitle of this book, is that you will awaken to your life's purpose and that you will follow through and that you will ultimately, of course, be the hero of your own story. Unbroken Nation, thank you so much for listening. If you have not read it, you can grab a copy of Think Unbroken, my first book. You can download the PDF ebook for free. If you go to book.thinkunbroken.com, that's book.thinkunbroken.com. And if you'll please leave a review for the show, it would mean the world to me. If this has brought any value to your life, if you'll take 30 seconds and just let me know what you think, it matters. So with that said, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see ya.